So it was really hard to be that stand-in in a trench coat and doing the bow and arrow for 4 hours of a setup when your fingers are blue. There was no joy in it. And I thought, okay, this is it. I got to get off this fucking set. I got to quit.
I want to ask this because me and him talk about this all the time. Like, I work half the time I tell my daughter all the time, when I'm at work during the day, that's my fake job. Like, I'm Bruce Wayne, even though I'm not a billionaire. And at night, my real job is Batman because I'm acting or I'm voice acting or doing something like that. So what I wanted to ask you this is that a major part of your career has relied on being a stand-in for Nick Cage. And I want to know, is that anything that's stressful, or it's kind of like, well, I know Nick's going to get work, so I'm going to get work. So is it kind of like, hey, Nick, what you're doing? I guess if there's one actor you never will have to ask, are you doing anything? It's Nick Cage. So is it stressful? It's like, what's Nick got going on?
It's not me asking so much, as opposed to there's a whole team and entourage at that time.
Okay.
And the entourage is very communicative of who's coming and going on the next film. And I was always part of the checklist of being on the next film. So it was, after a while, it was a given that I'm going to be on the films. And I kind of gave up everything else. And I said, okay, I'm going to ride this thing and I'm going to keep working. Right. And we'll see where it goes until I burnt out, which I did towards the end. And all in all, I was investing, into real estate, just so I wasn't going to be left out in the cold. But I felt like I was part of that entourage and I was included, and I was being flown around, at a semi-VIP status, which was really great, versus flying coach. It was perks of the studio. It's just how it worked at the time. I'm not sure if it works for me today, but at the time it was. I was really a part of it.
Your last stand-in role was Weatherman in 2005. What
actually was, just to correct you, that was the release date, but the actual filming was Lord of War was the last one, and we filmed the video.
Oh, okay.
They were released in 2005.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah. IMDb.
Check those production. No, that's probably me. The production. I'm looking at the release, not the production. So what ultimately led to your decision to move on and go on this other path?
Well, initially I was kind of putting the feelers out there on National Treasure, and I was quite exhausted. And Mr. Cage has endless energy. I hate to say it, but he truly is Superman. He does have superpowers. I'm not going to really beef him up and tell him that, but the truth is, this fucking guy has superpowers. This guy is never tired. This guy will work 15 hours a day, 5 hours, 22 hours a day, never fucking complains, and just does it. He doesn't care if he's like going up a mountain or driving through the desert. It's fine. He's in character and he's good with it. Me, as a stand-in, which is a crew member with perks, I was exhausted, and the physicality of being around all that was wearing on me. So on National Treasure, I really wanted to quit after National Treasure and on it, because in National Treasure we worked in 5 states over 5 months. There was a lot of road moving, from the peaks of Utah up in the mountains when we were digging out on that snow, which was a nightmare to be on, all the way to New York City, all within the same film. And you're just in this caravan of months and months. You had no life, and I was building up other things in my life, and I was just overwhelmed. And then came the Weatherman after that, and I didn't want to work on it just because of Chicago winters. And I thought, well, maybe this would be my last film, because I'll go off on a winter film, as I started on a winter film, and I'm going to call it a day. And as it turned out, that film gave me pneumonia. I had flu. Wow. I was so fucking sick on that film set. I mean, Nick was sick as well. He was physically ill, with sinus infections and ear infections, because we were outside in trench coats in Chicago in the winter. So, because the character was in a trench coat, but the crew were in parkas, so it was really hard to be that stand-in in a trench coat and doing the bow and arrow for 4 hours of a setup when your fingers are blue. There was no joy in it. And I thought, okay, this is it. I got to get off this fucking set. I got to quit. I am done. I fell in love with Chicago, but I fell out of love with the film business and the amount of ego of getting a shot done and the perfectionism of being on a set with how everything had to be so perfect at the cost of our health. And at this point, guys, I'm 40 plus. And I was tired. I had made some good money. I invested very well. And I thought in my head, okay, the career has been fine, but if I do this, I'm never going to get fired. I'm never going to get out of this. And I see other people who've been in it for 1,000 years. And I thought, I'm not a film buff. I need to get out of this and restructure my life before I become too old and I just need to get out of this. This is the wrong thing forever.